Hi everyone, this is Kristen with the Tech Reviewer, and today I'm here with some really cool cases from RHINOSHIELD for the iPhone 17 Pro. So we've got the newly redesigned SolidX, ModNX, and Clear case to show you today. So all of these cases are going to be super protective with over 11 feet of drop protection, so that is excellent, but they do have their own individual features. So checking them out in a little bit more detail. The ModNX is going to be the most versatile of the cases. This one can switch between being a full case, which is how you see it right now, to a bumper case simply by removing this backplate. You can also customize this case further by changing out the backplate to a different backplate. So that is really cool. Really nice hand feel on this, nice texture on the sides. Overall, quite a nice case here from RHINOSHIELD. The SolidX is a slightly redesigned version of RHINOSHIELD's SolidSuit case, which they've had for many years, which has always been one of my favorite cases. And with the SolidX, they've made it even more protective, so that is really excellent. The SolidX is also just a great case if you're looking for something that is no nonsense, that's protective, something you don't have to mess with. So this one is extremely fingerprint and smear resistant. It is also scratch resistant. Overall, just a really nice case, very protective with that over 11 feet of drop protection, and it just looks and feels great. It's also easy to get on and off your phones. There is just a lot to love here with the SolidX. And finally, for all you Clear case fans out there, the RHINOSHIELD Clear is going to be an absolute delight. This is a Clear case which is guaranteed never to turn yellow. The sides are not going to turn yellow. The back is not going to turn yellow. This is going to stay just as clear as when you got it. Otherwise, RHINOSHIELD is going to replace it. So I think that is excellent. Love that lifetime anti-yellow guarantee. So this is also going to be just as protective as the other cases with that over 11 feet of drop protection. This is also 100% recyclable because of its monomaterial construction. And all of these cases that we looked at today are going to be BPA, BPF, BPS free as well as PFAS free. So that's just yet another thing that you don't need to worry about. Let's take a closer look at these cases on my iPhone 17 Pro in Cosmic Orange. The RHINOSHIELD SolidX case is the new and improved version of one of my favorite cases from RHINOSHIELD over the years, the SolidSuit. So your new SolidX case is designed to be even more protective. It's got something called shock grooves here in the corners. And of course, that's going to help with all those nasty corner drops, which tend to be so destructive. So this is going to give you greater protection in all four corners. Other than that, as far as the construction is concerned, I think it is fairly similar. It uses the same shock spread eco material. This is a mono material like all of RHINOSHIELD's cases. Makes it 100% recyclable. This can be recycled up to 6 times, so they call it 100% circular, which is cool. I think this material is also very nice feeling in the hands, pleasant amount of texture to it. I think that this makes this case just grippy enough so that it feels secure, but not so grippy that it's hard to slide in and out of pockets and handbags. So this has always been my favorite of the RHINOSHIELD cases to use, and I'm loving the improvements that we have now with the SolidX over the SolidSuit. One other thing that you'll notice is that RHINOSHIELD has done away with the replaceable camera rims. So the camera rims are now all just fixed, so you can still replace your buttons, no problem with that, or an additional $1 when you are purchasing a RHINOSHIELD case. You can get a set of buttons in a different color, so that is a really fun and inexpensive way to jazz up your case. But you can no longer purchase a different colored camera rim because they're not doing that anymore. It used to be you had the option of going with an opening here for your camera control button or having one that has the camera control button cover. So now with this year, they've only gone with covered camera control buttons. So there's no longer an option to get one that doesn't have the camera control button cover. And I think that the camera control button on these cases works really well. It's made of carbon nanotube material. It's very responsive and everything works really well with it. So overall, very nice case, slightly flexible feel in the hands. This comes in 8 different colors. This one is called Glacier Blue. I also have black to show you today. Both of those I think look really nice with the orange color. So putting your phone in here, nice and easy. This I think is the easiest of RHINOSHIELD's cases to put on and take off. Once on, you've got a nice fit on here, little tiny bit of give maybe around your buttons, but other than that, very nice tight fit. Everything looks and feels good. Looking at the amount of lip we have on here, we've got a nice amount of lip around the screen. I do have a screen protector on here. This is RHINOSHIELD's Impact Protector Pro screen protector. And if you've tried RHINOSHIELD screen protectors in the past, they're impact protection line. So these are made of a special impact protective polymer material. It's not glass, but it feels a whole lot like glass, particularly with the new Pro line. The new Pro line feels much more like glass than previous years, and now comes with a really great installer, very easy to get on, and I think that the performance is excellent. So loving to have this on here. It's got a great fit with all of the RHINOSHIELD cases. Super nice screen protector and very protective, much more protective than what you're going to get with a glass screen protector. So looking down here at our port openings, nicely positioned and nicely sized. Love the look of the Cosmic Orange and the Glacier Blue case. Really nice combo. I don't think you should have issues with third-party USB-C cables here. RHINOSHIELD branding going up the sides, but I don't think it's too obtrusive because it's not a different color or anything like that. It doesn't just jump out at you. Looking at the sides, you can see you've got this nice, slightly textured material on here. Gives you a pleasant amount of grip when you're holding the phone case. This material here also is BPA, BPF, BPS free, as well as PFAS free. So all of these chemicals that are in a lot of the plastics that we encounter in our daily life are not in RHINOSHIELD cases. And maybe this is more of an issue if you've got a little kid around that likes to lick things. But I think it's also an issue just for people who are holding their phone cases all day long, because you know that's what you do. You're constantly touching your phone case. And if there's nasty chemicals in it, maybe they slowly can migrate through the skin. I have no idea. But it's just a nice thing that RHINOSHIELD makes their phone cases without those chemicals in them. In general, the fewer of those chemicals that we have going around in the environment, the better. So our buttons, very responsive, everything works great, and of course you can change out your button colors, so that's awesome. View from the top, everything looks great. Going over to the side button, very responsive, everything's great there. And again, loving this camera control button, use it all the time, everything works really well, very responsive, loving those carbon nanotubes. So looking here at the back, you can see this nice textured material, again, pleasant amount of low grip on here. If you are looking for a really grippy case, like a rubbery grippy case, this is not going to be it. But if you like a case which is just a little bit grippy, then that's what you're going to get with a SolidX. Very nice feel. So as far as the amount of protection here for your rear camera, everything looks good. Nicely protective, nice amount of rim. And of course, this case is going to be available in MagSafe and non-MagSafe versions. You can save money going with a non-MagSafe version if you want. But if you go with a MagSafe version, then you're going to have really great magnets, 2x as strong as Apple standard. Everything works great. So nice and tight, very secure. Love the magnets that you're going to have with this. And I think that this type of material is going to wear extremely well. So I will say that I've had this case on my phone since launch, and I wasn't able to get around to doing a review because I was away from home and I didn't have access to all of my cameras and lights, etc. So I had this on from launch. I'm only now doing this review in early November, and I didn't get any scratches, I didn't get any fingerprints, I didn't get any dirt. I can't see any wear at all on this case. I think that this is a great case if you're looking for a case which is just a durable workhorse of a case. It's very protective. You got that over 11 feet of drop protection, and it just feels great, looks great, got a bunch of colors to choose from, and like all of RHINOSHIELD's cases, you can make it your own with all kinds of different print options that they have, as well as the design your own, where you can upload your own pictures and text and numbers and go with stickers and all kinds of really cool stuff. There's just a lot to love here from RHINOSHIELD. So taking off this case, very easy, no issues. Going over to the black version. Again, very easy case to put on. And looking here, you can see everything looks great. Looking at the back, wow, loving the black with the cosmic orange. Again, this also has that same texture on here, you can see. Just a beautiful case here from RHINOSHIELD. So one final thing I want to do here with the SolidX is to show you how easy it is to switch out your button colors. So you just push from the outside in when you are removing them, and then you push from the inside out when you are replacing them. Just look here with all black buttons. I think that's also quite nice with our Glacier Blue SolidX. So interestingly, the RHINOSHIELD clear case line now has a clear as well as 3 tinted versions. In previous years, the tinted versions of the clear case were called the jelly tint cases. Now they're all different versions of clear. So you've got the perfectly clear one, and then you've got 3 colors. You've got this gleam rosé here, which is designed to look really nice with cosmic orange. And then you've got a nocturne blue and an ash black color. So you got a lot to choose from here. So these are really pretty cases. It's fantastic that they are guaranteed to never turn yellow, never, ever, ever. If they turn yellow, then RHINOSHIELD will replace them under warranty. Of course, clear cases do have other issues. They do tend to show more fingerprints and scratches and all that, but at least with yellowing, you do not need to worry about that. So that is really exciting. So these are going to be really protective cases. They're going to give you over 11 feet of drop protection. They're very tight-fitting cases, very secure on your phone. It's quite a rigid case here, not much give to it at all. The sides are hard, the back is hard. These are available both in MagSafe versions, which I have to show you today, as well as non-MagSafe versions if you don't like the look of the MagSafe magnets. So you have a covered camera control button. This is made of carbon nanotube material. It's very responsive. And you can switch out your button colors on any of these cases. So that's exciting. If you choose to buy the buttons at the same time that you're purchasing the case, it's $1 per button color set. So that's relatively inexpensive. Overall, this has a very nice high quality feel to it. Unfortunately, it has pretty much zero grip. Looking here at the Gleam Rosé, it's going to be exactly the same case. It's just tinted. And again, this one is also not going to turn yellow. Same material, same guarantee. So putting your phone in here is going to be tighter than on RHINOSHIELD's other cases. The sides of this case are rigid, so they don't really give when you put your phone in. And it's not that hard to get on, but it is harder to get off. So once on, you've got a really tight fit on here. There is no give anywhere. So for those of you that like a nice tight fitting case, you're going to love that. We have a nice amount of lip on here as well. I have a screen protector on here. This is RHINOSHIELD's Impact Protector Pro. It's an excellent screen protector. The Pro version that they came out with last year is significantly better than previous versions. For one thing, it comes with an excellent installer, and it feels more like glass, It scratches less. I think it's a really good screen protector. So it's not going to be quite as scratch resistant as a high quality tempered glass screen protector, but it's going to give you a whole lot more impact protection. And it's got a great fit here with all of these cases we're going to be looking at today. Really nice screen protector. So looking at the fit on the phone here, you can see we've got nicely positioned port openings here. Shouldn't have any issue with most third-party USB-C cables. And then going around to the sides, we have some subtle RHINOSHIELD branding here. You can barely see it. You have to hold it up to the light just right. So this case does not have much grip at all. I find it to be a slippery case. Too slippery for me personally, but I tend to like things with just a bit more grip. So going up here to the buttons, excellent buttons, very responsive. And of course you can switch out the color of your buttons on here. Very easy and fun and inexpensive if you buy the buttons at the same time you buy the phone case. If you don't, then they're going to be a bit more expensive, plus you're going to have to pay for shipping. So if you're considering getting a set of buttons in a different color, get them when you buy the phone case because it's going to be way less expensive that way. Looking at the view here from the top, you've got a nice amount of lip around here. Everything looks really good. Again, very nice fit here with this Impact Protector Pro screen protector. Side button works great, and the camera control button with its special carbon nanotube material also works great. Very responsive. I've been really happy with it. And looking at the back of the case, I think everything looks absolutely fantastic. Love the way this puts your iPhone on display. Love the fact that this is guaranteed never to turn yellow. That is absolutely wonderful. However, it's still going to suffer from some of the issues that clear cases tend to. It's going to scratch more easily, and it's going to show fingerprints more easily. And if you get dirt or dust or something like that trapped in between the phone case and the phone, then you're going to be able to see everything. So this is basically just a bit more finicky, but it's still going to look great. You don't have to worry about it turning yellow, and it's going to give you that over 11 feet of drop protection. So all of that is fantastic. So you've got a good amount of protection here for your rear camera. Everything is great. You might have noticed that RHINOSHIELD has done away with the replaceable camera rims. All of the camera rims are now non-replaceable. So if you liked changing out the color of the camera rims, unfortunately that is no longer an option for you. However, if you found it to be a little bit too fussy, a little bit too difficult, then maybe you will like the new design here. So I think overall this has just got a really nice hand feel and look. It is too slippery for me, but maybe it's not going to be too slippery for you. That is really very much up to personal preference. So as far as MagSafe is concerned, you can go with non-MagSafe or MagSafe versions. You can save a little bit of money if you decide to go with a non-MagSafe version. But if you want to go with something with MagSafe, you're going to love the fact that you've got super strong magnets with this. So this is going to work great with Apple's MagSafe charger. Really nice, tight connection, twice as strong as Apple's standard. And of course, this is going to work great with other MagSafe accessories as well, such as Apple's MagSafe wallet. That's going to work great. And of course, there's also tons of other MagSafe accessories. RHINOSHIELD has some MagSafe accessories that you can play with. So you've got a lot of great MagSafe options with this case. So overall, I think all of that is great. This is a beautiful case. And if you really love clear cases and you don't mind a relatively slippery case, you are just going to love the RHINOSHIELD Clear. So one thing that probably you're not going to love about the RHINOSHIELD Clear is that it is rather difficult to remove from your phone. You just kind of have to ease it off. So you want to start up in the one corner and press it off, and then go to your other corner at the top and press that one off a little bit, and then just kind of go back and forth a little bit until your phone slips out. This is not easy. So this is probably not great if you are a frequent case changer or if you're the kind of person that tends to be nervous when taking off phone cases. So checking this out in the beautiful Gleam Rosé color. Very nice fit on here. Everything's going to be the same as the clear version we just looked at. But I'm loving the way the Gleam Rosé tint looks with the Cosmic Orange. I think it is a great color combo. And again, great fit here with this Impact Protector Pro Screen Protector from RHINOSHIELD. Everything is great there. So again, we've got our subtle RHINOSHIELD branding here up the side. Buttons all work great. And of course, you can change out those button colors for a splash of color if you want. And then going around here to the side. All the buttons work great, and your carbon nanotube camera control button, also very, very easy to use, very responsive. Looking at the back of the case, I think everything looks beautiful. I really like the look of the Gleam Rosé. If a clear is just a little bit too orange for you, then the Gleam Rosé can be a great option, just tones things down just a little bit. Really attractive look. Lots to love here from RHINOSHIELD. The RHINOSHIELD ModNX is RHINOSHIELD's most versatile case. It can be used as a bumper only or as a full case if you put the optional backplate on. So with a backplate, this is a full case. If you're just using it as a bumper, then it is a bumper case. And RHINOSHIELD has made some big improvements to this case over the years. It used to be a lot trickier to put together and to change from being bumper case to full case and back again, but it's a lot easier now. So there used to be a thing called an additional rim. We don't have that anymore. Now it's just two pieces. So you put your back plate into place. Just put that one in, and it slides into kind of a slot here at the bottom. And then you can put your phone in. And that's it. So looking at the fit of this case on the phone, you've got a nice tight fit. There's no sagging on the buttons or anything. It's not going to be quite as tight as it is with the clear case, but overall really quite tight and tighter than with previous versions of the ModNX that I reviewed. So I think that they did a good job here. You've got a good amount of lip that runs around the front of the phone case as well, protecting your screen. This has a nice fit with RHINOSHIELD's Impact Protector Pro Screen Protector, very impact protective screen protector. Everything looks good here. And of course, if I didn't have any screen protector on here, you would have more visible lip. But even with the screen protector, still plenty of lip here to protect your screen. Looking down here at our port openings, nicely positioned and nicely sized. Everything looks really good here. And as you can see, we have a good amount of texture here on the sides. This makes your ModNX really quite grippy on the sides, in my opinion. Not a rubbery kind of feel or a sticky feel, but just kind of a slightly textured feel that for me makes the ModNX as well as the SolidX very pleasant to have in the hand. It's just kind of a dry, grippy feel. Exactly grippy enough so that it feels secure in the hand. So we got some RHINOSHIELD branding going up the sides here. Our buttons here, very responsive. Everything works really well. And of course, you can switch out those button colors for only $1 per button color set. Looking at the view from the top, everything looks good. Going around to the side, nice responsive side button. And everything works really well here with our camera control button with its carbon nanotube construction. Everything is great. You have a spot here where you can attach a lanyard, so that is excellent if you are into that. Overall, I think everything looks good. And then looking at the back of the case, again, this does a great job of showing off the beauty of your iPhone. Love the fact that you've got that rim here that is going to protect your backplate from scratching. So it's not going to protect it from all scratching, but it's going to scratch a whole lot less because you've got that protective rim. So all of that is great. Everything is nicely protected also for your camera. And you can choose to go with MagSafe or non-MagSafe if you go with a backplate on this. If you go with the non-MagSafe version, you can save a little bit of money, but if you go with the MagSafe version, you're really going to enjoy the 2x stronger magnets that you have with these RHINOSHIELD cases. Everything works great. So nice, strong magnets, nice and tight. The only problem that you might run into is with certain MagSafe accessories, there may be an issue with the rim that runs around here interfering with them. So for example, with Apple's MagSafe wallet, this is going to fit on very securely, not going to fall off, nice strong magnets, but you can't just slide it off the phone as you can with some cases because you've got this rim that's in the way. So in a way that's good because it's making more secure. However, you just have to pull off the wallet to get it off. So just FYI, that can be an issue with some MagSafe accessories, but gotta love those strong magnets. And overall, I think that this is just a really nice case. So taking this off is not difficult. Just pull it off, pull out your phone. And now if we want to switch to a bumper case version of this, you just take out your back plate and then slide in the phone with no back plate. So very easy. So you don't have to mess with anything, and then all of a sudden you've got a bumper case, not a full case anymore. The front is going to be just the same, no changes there. And then looking at the back of the bumper case, you can see you're looking at the back of your actual phone now. So we have an absolutely enormous rim, really high, that runs around the sides here, giving very good protection to the back of your phone, which is great. You can still access all of your MagSafe accessories because, of course, now you're actually accessing it via the MagSafe of the phone rather than the MagSafe of the case. You may still have the same issues with this high rim interfering with some MagSafe accessories, however. The only thing which I think is potentially slightly problematic is the amount of protection for your rear camera. Now, you do have protection here because you have a higher rim at the top and at the bottom. So if you put this on its back, your camera is not going to touch a flat surface, but it's just less protected than it is when it is in a backplate mode and full case mode. So do be aware of that. But other than that, I think everything is just fine with the bumper case. Just have to be aware that you have a bit thicker case than with RHINOSHIELD's other case options. Again, we've been looking at a variety of cases from RHINOSHIELD for the iPhone 17 Pro. The SolidX cases that we looked at are going to run you $38.99 for the non-MagSafe version and $44.99 for the MagSafe version. Color-wise, they come in white, ash gray, black, shell beige, neon orange, ultramarine, dawn clay, and glacier blue. If you want to add an additional button color set, those are going to be $1 per button color set if you purchase it at the same time you're purchasing your phone case, if they're all bundled together. Otherwise, you're going to pay a little bit more, plus I think you'll get hit with a shipping and handling fee. So if you're interested in adding button colors to these, you might want to do it bundled together with the case. So as far as the clear case is concerned, this one is going to be available in the clear and gleam rosé versions that we saw today in the review, as well as a color called nocturne blue and an ash black. So these are going to be available for $37.99 for the non-MagSafe version and $46.99 for the MagSafe version. And then the ModNX cases finally are the most complicated because they have the most options. So if you want to go with a bumper only ModNX case, that one is going to cost you $22.49. If you want to go with a bumper with a backplate version, like we saw today in the review, the MagSafe version is going to cost you $36.49, and the non-MagSafe version is going to cost you $29.49. The color options for the ModNX sides are going to be white, graphite, black, and navy blue. The included backplate option for all of these is going to be clear unless you want to go with a print version, in which case it's going to cost you a little bit more money. If you're interested in making a RHINOSHIELD purchase, you can save 10% by using the promo code, especially for my viewers, which is TheTechReviewer88. Be aware, however, that there is a $50 minimum purchase threshold that you have to meet. Many thanks to the kind folks at RHINOSHIELD for sending me out these samples to review. If you have any questions about these cases or anything else, please feel free to put them in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Again, this is Kristen with The Tech Reviewer. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.